After Tarron's finished laughing.
Sols, I'm good now.
Hello, welcome to another Alpha Strike We Play video, and we are finishing off the series of the stages of playing through a round of BattleTech, and we are now looking at the end phase.
End phase. The last time you have to put up with us talking about this.
This can be an important little phase to worry about, depending on how your game's been going.
Yes. End phases don't always sound like much, but they can be quite important, if only for cleaning everything up and making sure that you've done everything right.
Yeah.
So this one's got some important stuff in it.
So what you do, it's a good idea to play with the movement dice. I find that to be quite handy. We do it in our games.
Yes.
So you clear those off. So clear the board of all that sort of thing.
Yep. Get all your tokens and bits and pieces that you use to mark things out of the way.
Any mechs that have torso twisted, they go back to center.
Yep.
Flipping arms. There's not a lot of mechs that have it in the...
Not in this. I don't think you can in this one. I don't think they have any that you can.
But yeah, mechs that can flip their arms over, they
flip
back to front.
Yep.
So if you have vehicles and things like that, I think the vehicles with turrets, we haven't really talked about vehicles in this. It's all been mechs, but that's the same sort of thing.
Same sort of thing. They all flip back to front. So torso twisting, arm flipping, and then you've got shutting down and powering up.
Yeah.
So you can actually voluntarily shut your machine down. You use that to dissipate heat is a good one. But it's also, it's not in this box set, but if you have like a stealth mechanic or something, if you aren't powered up, then you're not showing up on things like active probes and that sort of thing. So there can be advantages to shutting your mech down and then powering it back up again. And the end phase is where you do that.
A lot of interesting scenarios actually with that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
You can mess around with all sorts of stuff and it's groovy. So probably
the most important thing would be for the pilot.
Yes. So this is the point where you're checking your consciousness. So if you're if you're hit in the cockpit, you take a point of damage to your pilot, and your pilot has the little consciousness check things on there. If you fail one of them, you become unconscious and you're considered immobile.
Yes.
Yes. So while you're unconscious, you're considered immobile, which means that pretty much everybody can hit you really, really easily. And an immobile target can also be specifically targeted, right? So you can have targeted location hits, so you can aim for a leg or an arm or whatever.
So it's a good idea that your pilot isn't napping in
Yes.
the middle of a war.
Don't be asleep. Now, the important thing to remember here is that you only check your consciousness for a pilot if they were unconscious in the initiative phase. So that basically means if you fall unconscious this turn in the combat phase, you're going to spend the entirety of the next turn unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gives everybody a chance to shoot you, unfortunately. But this is the way that it works. So if you fall unconscious in the combat phase, then you get to the end of the turn, you're not checking this turn. You have to be unconscious in the initiative phase to be able to check it to see if you wake up again. So important. Very important.
Very important. There's also, we've only sort of talked about playing games with standard environments, so environments where anyone can just breathe the atmosphere and things like that.
Yep.
But the truth of the fact is that there are some planets and things like that are quite bad for human life.
Yep.
And you need to be in a suit or something like that. So your battle mech, the cockpit is actually sealed and things like that, and it has its own life support.
Yep.
If you've taken life support damage,
because life support has a location and it can be hit through critical hits.
Yep. So I think heat affects that as well.
Yep. If you've taken damage to your support system, then when you get built up to a certain level of heat, you start taking damage.
You take damage from that, and so basically the environment becomes your enemy. So water's featured pretty prominently in a lot of the maps. So if you have a mech that's submerged,
which is basically just fallen over in water or standing in water above level 2.
Yeah, so level 2 or whatever, you're submerged. So if you have life support damage, your pilot is going to take a point of damage in the end phase if you have life support.
So you are underwater and you are taking on the water, basically, and you're not happy.
No, not at all.
Not happy at all. I think the main takeaway there is the consciousness thing, because that is really important. But there's some really, really vital stuff that happens in the end phase of BattleTech. So don't overlook it. Make sure you're going through, and if you're the anal one in your group, make sure you make them do it. That's right. It's important.
But it's good to know these things too, because if you're planning out your next round of movement and what you're going to do and things like that, it's important to understand what could happen if you make a choice in the combat phase or the movement phase or anything like that. So when the end phase comes around, could my pilot be in this position? And it's not one you want to be in.
No, being unconscious for an entire combat round is not good. No. It isn't good at all. But I mean, people can. I've certainly done it. You just overlook unconscious pilots. The pilot is unconscious. You go, okay, he's out running.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah.
I'm going to go and focus on the things that are shooting at me. Whereas if you're thinking, I mean, that's a -4 for an immobile target.
Yeah, that's right. That's choice. And that's a nice.
Do they actually fall over automatically? I can't remember. I'm not sure. We'd have to look that up. But if you are standing up and immobile, then I mean that's a -4. That's a long range targeted hit. You are in trouble. You're in serious trouble.
I think you can do a piloting, but it's with all your penalties.
Yeah,
I think.
But I mean, it doesn't matter what sort of skill rating you've got or how well you've picked your mech or how well you've done anything if you're unconscious.
Yeah.
But like I say, I quite often overlook an unconscious mech. I think in one of our games, your Locust was unconscious the pilot was unconscious for quite a long time.
He was, yeah.
I walked off and ignored him, and I had to come back and try and get rid of him because you were using him as activation fodder.
I think we did read. I'll have to go back and double check that now that we're talking about it. I'm pretty sure that we did read that an unconscious unit doesn't count for like a unit choice.
No, I think we worked out that it does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we worked out that as long as your pilot isn't dead, he counts as having to be activated.
And make a choice. Okay, so it can be a legitimate choice. Yeah, that was a pain in the bum. That's right. So just keep in mind that your pilot, depending on their condition and how the cockpit is and things like that, it can be a game changer under certain circumstances.
Definitely.
So and the end phase sort of
the end phase is where it all comes together, where it all gets meshed in and moved on. And if you're not ready for it when it comes, it can be difficult to deal with.
You're just looking that up now?
Yeah, I've got damage to mech warriors here, but that's in the heat phase.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
we'll look that up. That's fine. But you've had a look at everything, so we've covered all the little phases. So that's a full round. But go and play some games. Go and have some fun. So you should have an idea of sort of what to do now and things like that. We may do some other videos that talks about specific terrain and how that works and things like that, like changing elevations in detail and cover and how you choose like what's in or out when you're trying to work out target numbers and things like that.
Yeah. And at the moment we're focusing on the boxes still a fair bit. Once we start getting into the full rules, you've got a lot of stuff that you can talk about.
Well, customize. People like to customize their rides, so why wouldn't that apply to a battle mech?
That's it. Yep.
Now it's in the rules for this. It also doesn't talk about ammunition, but I'm pretty sure that you can choose to dump ammunition. You declare it in the end phase, and then you have to worry about it for the whole next phase, sort of being sort of semi-exposed. I think it's if you're shooting in the rear arc and things like that, there's a chance that you might actually hit that location because the ammo's coming out.
You open the actual ammo doors and let it all just out, and it takes a whole round for it to finish.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty sure I remember that one.
Yeah, as much as I love machine guns and things like that, 200 rounds in a location. If you've lost your guns, I don't want that sitting in my
No.
rack. I want that gone. So.
Well, this here, so a mech with an unconscious warrior becomes immobile.
Yep.
And all PSRs required of an unconscious mech warrior automatically fail.
Oh, there you go. Done.
So if you're knocked unconscious, but you aren't required to make any piloting skill rolls, then you'll probably still be standing up. If you're knocked unconscious, but you've, say, taken 20 points of damage,
Yep.
then that, or pushed, or charged, or any of those, or kicked, any of those, then those piloting skill rolls will automatically fail, which means you will automatically fall.
That's right. And you will automatically take damage to the mech warrior as well, so
Yes,
be careful of that.
because that's a piloting skill roll.
That's right.
So technically, you could have an unconscious pilot standing in an immobile mech that's still upright, that you can see.
Yeah.
Because the lying prone, you get a -4 for immobile, but you still get the prone problems as well, I think.
Yeah. That's right.
So if you can keep them unconscious and standing up, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
like
exactly right. Yeah. So
Anyway,
that's covered that.
That's your end phase.
Yeah, but there's all sort of other stuff we can talk about, but
Yeah, loads of
leave it
things
for
to
this
talk
for now,
about.
But yeah, we'll see how we go.
So that's the entire lot, and yeah.
We want your comments.
Yeah.
We want your comments.
Let us know if I
anybody who's
bugged
watched
anything
all
up.
these videos or whatever, yeah, just leave some comments. Let us know what you think about things, because we do want to know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye, guys.